Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome to yet another Trespasser Custom 4 month or so of Dino. We're on a bit of a roll, and I intend to keep that up for as long as I can before I run out of working maps or the motivation to keep checking them out. But for the moment, we're going to be taking a look at InGen Water Treatment Plant, a map by General Kenobi that is a direct follow-up to Causeway, which is a map that I played through before. That was the one that had implications that there was a capital P predator on the loose that had presumably been hunting the dinosaurs and the people. But that map ends with a tunnel, and that tunnel leads us into this map. Now, something I will say before we get into this is that this map was never finished. I think it was kind of abandoned because it is going to crash at some point. I know ahead of time that it's going to crash. However, as long as we save, we should be able to load back in without it immediately crashing, because it seems to be that the cause of the crash is just too much stuff loaded in. So the more I explore, the higher the chance it's going to crash, but then we should be able to load a save and just continue. But because of that issue never being resolved, I think that's the reason the map never got finished. But there's quite a bit of work put into this already, and that's why I wanted to check it out. I actually read a review on the map, a rather in-depth review from Giganotosaurus, that made me think that I should definitely try to get this working. Because when I tried to get this working on ATX, its map is old enough that this is before I started using CE, it ran badly and crashed a lot more often. So that's why I didn't do it in the past. So let's get in here and see what we can see. Thanks to Giganotosaurus' review, I know where a few of the out-of-the-way details are that I probably would have missed otherwise, because they're kind of tucked away in dead ends. So yeah. At the end of Causeway, you go through this tunnel. I think that's the one that ends with a tunnel that just has like an under construction sign at the end of it. But we come out of here, and we're in yet another dinosaur-infested area. We got one of these gate locks, classic gate locks. There's a lot of like classic JP fences and whatnot in this map. I like that even the warnings are in English and in Spanish. Though, one thing I find really weird right here, I mentioned this in one of the other videos, but this is the map where, despite the fact that we're in a forest, there is absolutely no ambiance at all. No birds, no background sound. None of the stuff that even kind of regular Trespasser had. So it feels really weird coming to this after a map like Lost Jungle HD or Lost Jungle 3, because both of those had a lot more ambience in the background to kind of indicate you were in a forest. I think for the moment all we can do is follow this path. Now this fog also should make things run a little better. I think I turned down the settings for this map as well, so hopefully it won't crash for a while. But every time we get to a landmark, I think we'll save, and that way we'll be able to pretty smoothly go through this. It is a shame that this got abandoned because of engine limitations, especially because I think with CE, some of those limitations can be more easily circumvented than they could in the earlier days of CE. Because I think even in 2015, which is I believe the last time this got updated, CE had already been around for a bit, but its full limits hadn't quite been discovered. Also, we got a bit of a split here because we got a path going this way, but we have power lines going this way. Usually following the power lines will lead you somewhere. Also, this doesn't get mentioned often, but having actually connected power lines like this is not easy to pull off in Trespasser. Apparently, according to Drac, it's actually kind of a pain in the ass to do this, so the fact that all of these power lines are connected is impressive. Though I wonder if, I mean, you can see it doesn't line up perfectly, but I wonder if each of these is basically like a really long sprite that has to be kind of manually adjusted to line up. So far, no dinosaurs. Nothing really to see. I can still see the road, so we're actually just kind of walking parallel to it. Okay. Suddenly music. Oh. So what we missed is these bridges, including one of my dreaded gap bridges. Yeah, see there? What I always complain about with this style of bridge just happened. Where I jumped, and then when I landed, I sort of bounced a little bit, so I would have fallen right into that pit if it was bigger. So yeah, I think this is just a little side path. We don't really have to use the bridge. We could just walk around if we wanted to. Actually, probably be easier. I think I did this even in the retail maps, is just go across the railings instead of the broken bridge. Okay, so the music started playing because we came up on the entrance to the actual water treatment facility, or complex, or compound, or whatever you want to call it. In fact, we have a sign over here declaring what it is. Welcome to the Site B Water Waste Treatment Plant. I like that plant is not capitalized, but the rest of it is. And also, it barely fits on the sign. InGen, we make the future. Kind of a interesting slogan. I can't remember if that's the actual InGen slogan or not. Electrified fence. This gate cannot be opened when fence is armed. Well, clearly the fence is no longer armed. However, I don't think we're getting in here because there's a goddamn truck parked in the way. I can't move. Okay. Let's not touch that, because apparently it locks me in place for a couple seconds. So, I think we need to go around this fence. But I love these fence models. They just look so good. I just wish they weren't so demanding on the engine that you can't really have a lot of them. They're not as big as the ones that Drac used for Dark Secrets. I'm trying to remember the acronym. JPDS, which are the much bigger, like, JP3 fences with the spiked cylinder at the top. No. Feeding, flash photography, or yelling. I guess we could just go under, but no, that's against the rules. I think we went the wrong way. At least insofar as there can be a wrong way. I mean, there's still map over here. But I don't think the entrance is over here. I wish I knew how to add fog to a Trespasser map. I've mentioned before that I should really learn how to use the Trespasser editor, because there are definitely some maps where I think they would run better if I added fog to them. Like, there's one called Mount Tress, which runs very badly because it has a huge mountain with stuff on the other side of a big ravine, and that makes it run really badly. Okay. I guess I found this by mistake. I actually thought it was the other way. But this is one of the things that you can miss. This is a Biosyn camp. And presumably the ship they used to get here. So I think we're going to see a bunch of Biosyn stuff lurking around in this map. I actually can't remember now. I think these are from... I want to say the retail game, but no. I think the only Biosyn thing in the retail game was the crashed chopper. So these must be from something else. Someone else's mod. Aren't they normally blue, though? These Jeep? Got a generator. It doesn't do anything. Not that it really would do anything. It's not connected to anything. Yeah, we got a bunch of Biosyn Jeeps. I guess we could climb in. This one has a computer in the back. Think there's anything in any of these? No. We got a magazine, so we're going to see a bunch of these around the level, I think. But we're going to use fly to get a good look at them, instead of trying to climb in here and shove my face in it. Future tech. What are weyland-yutani's plans for InGen's dinos? Will they be put down? Yeah, so, the last map had some Predator stuff in it, but this one seems to have a bunch of alien stuff in it. You can see Anne's heart cube down there. I like that the health meter is literally like just a D6 with different amounts of damage on each side. Alright, nothing in there. Guess that's all of them. No guns, though, unfortunately. Now we got another magazine here. Weyland-yutani on Site B. Decommissioning or construction? Rumors abound. So what if weyland-yutani just bought up all of InGen's property when they were auctioning it off? That's pretty much this map. We've also got the ship here. I'm not really sure why it seems to have run aground. Like, it seems like they dropped them off and then immediately crashed. Maybe they got boarded by a T-Rex. Yeah, somehow I don't think we're getting on the ship. Am I moving it down a little bit each time? No, I don't think so. Oh, no. Yeah, it is coming down. Just had to loosen it up a little bit. Not really much over here, though. Nothing in there. Alright, what about the captain's cabin? Or, I guess the bridge? Would you call this the bridge or the pilot house? I feel like it's only a bridge if it's big enough. Weyland-yutani's first death on Site B. Official reports claim boating accident. I like that weyland-yutani is going to be spelled wrong, I think, the entire time with an A. Weyland. Alright. So now we gotta walk back to the fence and then walk around to, I guess, the other side, since we didn't find an entrance. Ow! But yeah, not a lot of dinos so far. I wonder if that stuff would have been populated out more if the map was completed. Because I guess when you come to a point where you can't add anything else to the level because it will crash already from too many things, you're probably not going to just start deleting stuff from the level. That doesn't really seem like the ideal solution, so you're kind of stuck, and I can see why they wouldn't have finished it when there's no way to increase that. I mean, I guess maybe you could have squished the level inward a little bit, you know, move some of this empty space so you can delete the trees or whatever, but it's definitely not an ideal solution. And it's a shame, too, because, like, one of the most fun things for me is just seeing all of these various models that are added to Trespasser. You know, all of these little objects and crates and just anything that is added in that isn't part of the environment is cool to see, but you have a limit on how many of those you can add without running into problems. Engine limitations, which were increased. Like, let's not act like this is stuck with the retail limits, but you could only increase them so much before the engine just snaps under its own weight. And C has pretty much already done that. It has pushed the limits as high as they'll go, but, you know, without essentially rewriting the engine or making a new engine, there's not going to be any way to, I think, increase that further. definitely could use some ambient sound, though, because so far, this map is very, very quiet. Alright. I think this might be the proper entrance, the one we can actually use. Yeah, it's just already open. But I think we actually want to do a little bit of a detour and follow the road in the other direction, and we'll find something else. However, we are going to save here. Because, for one, I think this leads to a dead end, and it'll be easier to just load back here. And for two, that's our first anti-crash safety save. I am curious to see how far we can get into this level before it crashes. I feel like I've loaded up a much earlier version of this level, because I remember some kind of building sitting in the water, and you had to, like, jump on these blocks to get to the back of it where there was a door. And there is something like that in this level still, I think, but it's not what I remember. So I don't know if that was an earlier version or it's a completely different map that I'm mixing up. I think I heard growls? I didn't register it right away, but they sounded like they were coming from over here. Really faintly. What is that? We've got a dead guy surrounded by glass. Was he thrown out of that window up there? Also, for a second, I thought that that whole thing was going to start falling when I walked over here, and it was just going to, like, crush me. Oh, you know what I think I heard? I thought it was a growl, but I think it was actually literally my headset cable brushing against my shoulder, which, you know, gets amplified through the cable, and you hear an actual, like, kind of grating sound. But I'm glad that illusory sound led me over here, because I had no idea this was here. I don't think anyone saw this. I don't think it's mentioned in Drax's review. Let's fly up there and see if there's anything in that room. I'm going to say no, there probably isn't. But, like, what's the story here? Who threw this guy out the window? Was it a predator? Probably not, because he still has a skull. It's just such a weird... Yeah, there's nothing in here. It's like barely a building. Very odd. But kind of funny. I was wondering, too, if we had a gun, could I, like, shoot this and this whole thing would just come tumbling down? Anyway, that's not why we came over here. That was just a bonus. A double bonus, if you will. Oh, now I hear footsteps. Real footsteps. Okay. We've got a lot of Dilophosaurus. We've got a Biosyn Jeep that appears they were attempting to winch it up like Nedry was. So is this just a very obvious Jurassic Park reference here? He went off-road, went into the ditch, tried to pull himself out, but there were a bunch of dilos down there. I do see a gun. However, I think this is a trap. I think this is the thing Drac mentioned he couldn't find a way out of without flying. I don't know, it doesn't look that hard to get out of. So, we're going to make another save. Oh wait, it doesn't like when I do this, does it? It doesn't make a new save, it just overwrites the other one with a new name. We'll do a new save game. Now there's a paragon, so it's a trick to get you to jump down here and then not be able to get out.
That's it.
Empty.
Empty.
Empty. All right. I've definitely fallen for it. There's nothing down here. Let's go see if there's anything over here. Or if it really is just a please don't feed the Dilophosaurus pit. Yeah, it's getting pretty simple over here. And there's another one that's just kind of stuck in a tree. Are you... I don't think this one's real. Nope. We brought him to life. He just needed a touch. Oh, no. Maybe his AI has been removed. He's been lobotomized. We can just... we jiggling, or... That is way too amusing. I think his head is just stuck. Either that or he's got the beat. It's in his head. He can hear it. I'm gonna get fucking eaten from behind while I'm messing around with his dilo. Yeah, this is all dead end over here. So let's see. Let's see if I can escape the pit using Trespasser physics, or if I'm stuck down here. And this particular version of Anne will just need to accept her fate as we switch to a more survivable timeline. I got an idea. There's no way... Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way this branch is solid all the way out. I mean, it looks like I should be able to just jump up the Jeep. Love that tire sound. Thunk. If I can get some momentum. No. It's such a small gap. Oh, so close. I'm trying to defy the fate that has been assigned to me. Even though I knew it coming in that this was meant to kill you. What about over here? Okay, that branch is solid. And again, we haven't even reached the main body of the map yet. We're doing a detour before we've even really started. Ah, crap. Yeah, I don't think we're getting out of here, so... As much as I would like to struggle against physics, we have a lot more map to cover. We're just gonna move on. You can always tell when you're kind of like out of the way of the main map because the terrain textures start to get really muddy. Though, not here? Maybe that piece just didn't load in, because the rest of them seem to be loading in. Visibly. I don't know where this leads, by the way. I know it leads to probably a dead end, but I don't know what's there. I'm gonna split in the path. Like that, tiled InGen logo on every single block. Okay. Well... It's very, very slightly solid. Like, there's a bit of resistance before you just walk right through it. It's more of an idea of a fence than a true fence, kind of implication of a fence. But we do have a shack here with a lock on it. Oh, God. Okay, not nearly as bad as the bathroom that I got stuck in the wall of. I'm gonna guess there's probably nothing up here, because, again, we're getting into, like, very low detail zone where there's almost nothing. So I think that fence was actually supposed to be solid. So the road keeps... Oh, never mind. I was about to say, the road keeps going, so maybe we follow it. But yeah, it just ends here at a vast plain of nothing. So I guess we back up. Maybe there was eventually going to be something up here too, but again, too many objects as it were. Bunch of trees over here, though. I don't know if that's where we passed to get up here. No, because that was, like, back that way. So, part of me wants to know what's down here, so we're not going to actually jump down. I'm just going to, again, we're going to go on a little fly and see if there was anything down here. It's just weird that there's so many trees down here if there's nothing actually here. Power lines. Is this where we started the level? Oh, this actually, yeah, this is literally the entrance to the level. Okay. At least we know where this is now and why it's got so many trees. I wonder if this is locked just because the default model that they would have pasted in here has the lock on it already, but again, let's see if there's anything in here. We don't have a gun, so we can't shoot the lock off. Yeah, no. Nothing actually in here. Presumably there would have been something in here, eventually. And let's continue down the other road. But I think we're almost at the end of this zone, considering we've come to around where the level starts. And I don't think there's anything, like, behind where the level starts. Actually, I guess the forest that we just saw, where the start of the level is about in that direction, so this actually is kind of above and behind where that is. Oh, something big ahead. Oh man, is that another Cryolophosaurus? Because I remember Causeway had a very strangely colored Cryolophosaurus that appeared to have a Decepticon crest on its head. This one... This one... I wasn't sure, but yeah, it has an Autobot crest instead. I'm pretty sure. Unless both of those is like some pareidolia shit and I'm just seeing patterns that aren't there. But yeah, that would be kind of a funny counterpoint Easter egg. Why is there just a skull here? And a half of a jaw? Is that even a human jaw? Can I kill it with the skull? I mean, it doesn't really seem to want to be near me. He's backing himself up a mountain. So, if I remember correctly, the other one was actually directly before the end of the level, but this one seems to be more of an Easter egg tucked away in a corner. This is a very bad place to try and avoid a large predator. Also, the tail seems to be not quite flush with the rest of it. Wow. Really? That did no damage, basically? The mouth is... I think I've seen this before for some of the T-Rexes, but... the, like, gums texture is weirdly high fidelity. Oh, we have another magazine tucked away. Weyland-yutani brought InGen, should say bought. Is Biosyn next? Failing company's last chance. And Dodgson is on the cover. It's kind of funny seeing Dodgson now that he reappeared in Dominion as the head of the company. Even this guy's got a bit of the heart of the beat. Let me just get right up to mouth level. Yeah, it looks like that's a dead end right there. What about up here, though? Also, this is a water truck. I mean, considering how easy it is... It's turned it into a pinball. Considering how easy it is to get up here, I feel like there's probably supposed to be something hidden here, but... At the same time, it looks like no. That probably would have been an invisible wall in a finished version of this map. So far, nothing has really hurt me that much. Oh, look, this just links behind it. And yeah, that is a water treatment truck. Can I get in here? It would be kind of funny if I could just climb into the cab and then go through there as well. Anyway, this seems to be the end of the road in this direction. So maybe now we'll turn back and... Well, not turn back. We'll load back to before we set out. I still don't seem to be taking damage, and I'm concerned that I'm, for some reason, invincible. Oh yeah, there's just a pit here. Anyway, let's load back to the first one. So, I think that's all the detouring in the level out of the way. Now we can actually explore the facility proper. Also, having a save here reminds me of how in original Trespasser, or ATX, you were supposed to save while not looking at any physics objects so that the game would not crash when they tried to immediately load in and then activate their physics. Okay, so here's the actual compound. I say compound because I think there's more than just the one building. And it is all fenced in. And I'm pretty sure that those are the only two things you need to have a compound. In fact, I don't even think you need buildings. You just need fences to have a compound. Got like kind of a service depot area over here. No guns. A lot of tires, though. We have a boot attached to a rope that is no longer attached to this pile of man. This definitely looks like some suspicious shit happened here so far. None of these bodies seem to have been death by natural or genetically altered causes. Empty as well. I wonder if there's any guns in this level. I mean, we found 2 empty ones, but, you know, ones that we can actually use to defend ourselves, though we also haven't needed to defend ourselves yet. There were some dilos, but they were out of the way in a death trap. Could I... Gonna say, I could use this door as a shield, sort of. A little too heavy. I mean, this is pretty cool. This whole area here. It's like a filling station for these water trucks. Oh, okay. Catwalk ends there. Or at least the physical catwalk. I don't think there's anything really in here. No, well, there is a crank here. That kind of looks like I'm supposed to do something with that, right? Well, doesn't actually do anything, but it probably was intended to. Maybe there's some kind of water puzzle. You gotta be careful not to fall off here. I almost kind of want to jump off there just to see if I take significant damage. I'm stuck in the floor. It's only a minor inconvenience, though. It's a lot easier to escape the floor when you clip into it than it is to escape a wall. So that handle is connected to a pipe over here. Leads this way. Oh, we got the like control center. I forget what this building's actually called from the Lost World, but it also appears in the InGen town level. And a lot of mods. So I think that might be where we need to go. I'm gonna check if there's anything over here. No, that's all fence. I think there's one more area inside the compound with that water building? Or am I just imagining that? Could be a completely different map, I don't know. I've said before, but there's so many Trespasser maps now that I've covered that I do not remember what all of them are. And it's been spread out over, what, like 8 years? Future tech. What are Weyland-Yutani's plans for Site B? Officially decommission? I mean, I can't imagine you'd buy up an island full of dinosaurs to decommission it. Like, yeah, we just wanted to get rid of them. We wanted to make sure they were gone. We definitely don't want to profit off of them. InGen buyout. Weyland-Yutani buys InGen. If I remember, the official lore now for aliens is that Weyland didn't become Weyland-Yutani until after Prometheus, when Peter Weyland goes missing, and they have to sell off the company. Floodgate control. I mean, that sounds important. Looks important. There's stuff in there. I can probably get through this window. Ooh, kind of bounced off. Crouch jumping is not easy to do in Trespasser. In fact, I'm not sure it's practical to do. It's usually easier to just jump into something repeatedly until you kind of fall through it. I think if I can get stuck in the windowsill, I can probably... I mean, this all seems like it's going to be part of a puzzle that was never actually added. Like, I don't think we have to do anything to progress in this level. Well, these textures do not look great compared to the textures around them. Like, I'm not even really that much of a stickler for texture quality. As long as texture quality matches the quality of the textures around it, I don't know, is fine. There's a lot of stuff around here. We got a pickaxe. I mean, it's not really a work pickaxe, is it? This is an archaeology pickaxe. But we got a bigger one here. There we go. We can't swing it. It does not count as a weapon. So, whoop. Yep, that's how you pickaxe, Anne. How do I pickaxe? Got a shovel. We no longer have a shovel. Oh, there it is. Not a weapon either. Can't swing that. So they were digging something over here, but they also have an excavator that seems to be trying to be a submarine instead. I wanted to see if it would tip over and fall in the water if I touched it. I mean, there's clearly a lot going on in this map already. It's just a shame to have it get kneecapped. It was basically too ambitious for what the engine could handle. Though it seems to be running mostly fine. Like, any of the performance issues I had with ATX are certainly not rearing up here, though. Part of that is my specific settings I made for this. Okay, so that goes out into the water. But we also have, like, a corner over here. I'm hoping the water doesn't just, like, kill me on contact. Or, dunk me. Well, this was not an outcome I was prepared for. Ah, crap. I might not be getting out of this one. This is, like, literally a pit. Alright. I mean, thankfully, since there's no puzzles or even really combat here, we can just sort of load up and walk over there again instead of having to look around. I mean, I almost kind of wish that somebody else would pick this map up and try to finish it, if they can, but of course they'd have to know what General Kenobi's intentions were, you know, what needs to be implemented, and again, that's assuming that you can get this to run without crashing. But we haven't had a crash yet. I really expected to hit one by now, especially once we got to this area, because there seems to be so many objects here. It seemed likely that it would crash, but no, it's been behaving so far. I'm gonna feel kind of silly if we get to the very end and it hasn't crashed yet. So yeah, like I mentioned before, I think we actually need to go into that structure over there in order to progress in the level. But there's still more over here. We'll just stay out of the water. What made that? Oh, I guess the windowsill? I was like, what made that sound on the concrete wall? So we've got all this machinery for pumping the water. It's a very mangled looking tank. Oh, it's even full of water. Kinda didn't expect that. But I bet if we fall in, we're never getting out. I mean, after playing the level with the big dam, and all the puzzles and exploration inside of it, that does kind of make me want to see all of this machinery integrated into some kind of puzzle, just because that dam was very cool. That was a Trustcom prequel, if I remember correctly. I should remember, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I recorded it back in, like, September, but I released it, like, a couple weeks ago? Yeah, see, there's all these valves that make it seem like there was some sort of get the water pumping, like you needed it to get through somewhere, so you would have to find the sequence of these valves to activate in order to get it where you need it.
Nice one.
I'm still not taking damage. I wonder why. There is like a god mode cheat, but it shouldn't be active. There's another valve. It's a shame they don't... You can't even grab them. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I grabbed it there for a second, but my hand was just stuck. Alright, so this leads out here to that building. Wow, this actually gives me big Aquatica 1 vibes from Deep Blue Sea. I guess just because it's a kind of concrete structure with fencing sitting out in the water. Oh, I guess this is a building I remember. I must have, like, kind of hopped through here. Because this is when I first downloaded the map, like 6 or 7 years ago. So yeah, I guess I must have jumped across those blocks back there trying to find a way in. Bunch of computers. Man, I wish we could get anything that sort of captures the vibe of Deep Blue Sea, because there never really has been anything that has managed to do the same thing for me. I know it's not the best regarded movie for some people, but I still to this day love it. I think it is a great movie in the sort of genre it goes for. Which is, in a way, kind of a similar genre to Jurassic Park. It is the humans meddling with genetic power and having to deal with consequences they didn't expect or understand. It's just instead of dinosaurs resurrected from the past, you've got hyper-intelligent sharks. Because they went, you know, their brain produces a chemical that can cure Alzheimer's, so if we make the brains bigger, we can get more of the chemical. I'm sure that'll have no other repercussions. I love that movie, though. The setting, the whole, like, traversal they have to do, where basically they start off at the surface, and then they're at one of the deepest levels of this water facility, and have to make their way back up to the surface as it's flooding, and the sharks are getting more and more access to the inside of the facility. So yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, and you enjoy stuff like Jurassic Park, or Anaconda, or any of that kind of classic style of creatures gone rampant, or gone wild, then you might enjoy Deep Blue Sea. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and of course there's the goofy-ass moment where Samuel Jackson gives this big monologue about, you think water's fast, you wait till you've seen ice, or you've never seen ice, and then he just gets fucking annihilated by a shark because he's standing with his back to a moon pool. Alright, so I think we've seen everything there is to see within the compound now, which means it's time to head through the... I want to call it a visitor center, but it's really not, is it? It's like the command center or something like that. However, while it does look like kind of a dead end, I think there's actually a tunnel or something in here. I know that Drax Review mentions it leads to another facility. So, we'll head up here. Not sure why there is just an office chair thrown down the stairs. Also, we got some more fallen palm leaves, but there doesn't appear to be any palm trees around. That's a true mystery. Where did these palm leaves come from? Alright, so I'm gonna look to the sky. And we're gonna make another save. Hopefully, the game will continue to behave, and we'll actually be able to make it most of the way through the level before we have to do a reset. There's the mural. There's Alan Grant. Dr. Alan Grant, this time spelled with an E. I wonder if that's intentional, that all the names are slightly off. Refuses to help Weyland-Yutani on Site B. It's a big mistake. Radio. It's broken. Okay, it looks like none of the side rooms are here. There's definitely a tunnel. And again, I should mention that, like, Trespasser doesn't really have a good way of having a tunnel like this. You can see the walls are literally made out of individual blocks that have been placed together to make a wall. And that's part of the reason why they don't run very well, or, why this gives the map so much trouble, because look how many objects they have to use just to make this hallway. The ceiling is blocks, the floor is blocks, the walls are blocks, and I think even these pipes are broken up into segments. Okay, got like a corrugated roof here. Bunks, a leaky water tank, another soda machine. DX Durcress, is that supposed to say decrease? After loss of shipment of food delayed. Differnet food used. Food needs to be tested now. Okay, we got some mention of DX, the virus that was wiping out the dinosaurs on Elosorna before they could be born, or I guess shortly after the embryos were created. Possible reasons: weather, no data. Climate, colder, water, testing due, food. Oh. Smash my head against it. I think I'm actually going to have to use fly here just to get a close look at the rest of it. Slight decrease. DX sicknesses. Time. Average temperature. Events. Does it say worker injured? Missed shipment. Cables, dino food, alternate food used. DX sickness increase, normal shipments resume. All right, so there's a whole other side story going on here about the DX. I guess they were testing the water from the water treatment plant. Got a bathroom. What's that? Oh, it's Megatron from Beast Wars. So clearly someone was a Transformers fan. Beast Wars was pretty good, though. That it was actually airing when I was a kid. Safety is everybody's business. Report genetic anomalies. Dispose of bio-waste properly. Halt the spread of DX now. I'm pretty sure that's literally something taken from the walls of the embryonics facility in The Lost World. The novel, not the movie. For as much shit as people seem to give JP3, there seems to be also a consensus that the embryonics facility is super cool in JP3. So, just down the hall from the water treatment plant, they are also making the dinosaur embryos here. I like the plants growing out of the drainage hole. It's a little detail of an overgrown facility like this. This is literally the same thing that the board said, but more legible. Alright. Well, that was interesting, but unexpected. And again, there's really no dangers for us here. I guess the level was never really fully populated, because there's been almost no dinosaurs anywhere. Probably get on the roof from here, can't we? I don't think there's any reason to. Maybe not. This is one of the big trees, so it still has the giant bounding box around the base. Alright, well, I don't actually think there's too much level left. I think we're mostly on a straight path for the rest of the way here. Assuming we can find that path, there's not really a road going through here. Ah, there we go. I was looking for some indicator of what direction I should go, but here's some more power lines, which are probably the best thing you can have in a Trespasser level for giving the player directions, because it's very intuitive that you see those and you're like, oh, well, obviously they lead somewhere. as Cortana would say, someone built this, so it must lead somewhere. Thanks for that genius-level intellect, AI. But it's also true, so can't give her too much shit. And I'm kind of keeping my eyes open off to the sides to see if there's anything else we should investigate. I also assume that in the final version of this level, this would have actually had a road texture, considering it appears to be a road. Alright, we got a bridge. We've got a truck winched to another truck, which means this whole thing is probably going to collapse when I touch it. Oh, yeah. So I guess we can't die then, because for whatever reason, I don't seem to be taking damage from anything. Maybe that's a thing that was turned on by mistake and is just stuck on now. Was I supposed to fall down here? Was I supposed to die from falling down here? Can never tell. However, this boulder seems to have been put here specifically so I can't get out. Or not? I was gonna say, it doesn't appear to be entirely real, but it's sort of real. Unfortunately, while I often use the comparison to Skyrim, it's actually not that easy to Skyrim your way out of a hole in this game. Sometimes you can wedge yourself into a seam, but like a seam like this is too small. It essentially has to be something you can fit your leg sphere between. I'd be able to get up here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the bridge. I might be able to pop through it, though. And, of course, even after the incident that happened where I got stuck in the wall last time, I did not look up the cheats so that I could potentially fix a situation like this. Let's see. We could potentially clip through this, but we can't get close enough to it to really force the issue. Oh, boy. I mean, maybe it was supposed to be a death pit. Well, I also don't see another way to get over this. So, I don't know. This might be just bad design. I mean, if it had killed me, I guess I'd have no choice but to go back, but, like, that still wouldn't solve the problem if you fell in here from any other spot, because you can see that, like, not all of it is a big drop. If we'd fallen in over here, then we just have fallen in, and we'd have to find some shitty way out. Okay, I'm starting to get some jump ability. Jumping, though, is also not always a reliable solution, because you can see here I'm actually just kind of falling backwards when I jump. I'm not making up any distance. Alright, I'm going to try this spot one more time, and then we're going to load back to the facility and walk back over here. I wish there wasn't so many times when something like this happens, but it is still Trespasser. You know, underneath all of the fancier maps and custom content and everything, it's still, at the end of the day, Trespasser. In the same way that GZ Doom is still Doom and still has many of Doom's limitations. I did not save on the other side. Good thing this is a very small area. I mean, again, this would be a lot more of a pain in the ass to redo sections if this was a complete map because there'd likely be puzzles and obstacles and whatnot. But because this is more or less just an explorer map in this state, we can just walk over to the next object of interest. We are going to have to get across that bridge without falling, though. So that's going to be an issue. But it's an issue that is easily solvable by saving until we get it right. I gotta remind myself today, though, to post on Trespasser and be like, hey, so what exactly commands do I have access to in CE? Because it would be helpful to know for troubleshooting and just for convenience of recording. Though even the flight sheet alone, as I mentioned before, has been very useful for getting screenshots and thumbnails, since I don't have to shove my face in a dinosaur's mouth in order to get a picture of it. Or try to find like a really awkward way to get up on top of something so that I can get a sweeping view. I can just kind of do that. I wondered, though, because I've been loading here, if that will actually prevent this from crashing because it is deloading the other stuff. I don't exactly know how the engine handles that stuff, so I can't say for sure whether that's how it loads stuff in, but that seems to be the reason why this level is finishable. Okay, so how the hell are we gonna do this? I could try to jump from the front of the truck, or I could walk along the ditch and hope I find a better place to jump across. But this seems doable. However, I think the truck has become a physics object. However, I'm pretty sure that those two pieces right there are going to collapse when I touch them. Oh, I died. Okay, maybe I have been taking damage all along, and it's just for whatever reason, the damage indicator is broken. Okay. Nothing that a copious amount of loading my save can't fix. Over and over until we get it right. God damn it. I was really hoping there would be a railing here. Okay, well, aside from throwing myself across, what else do we got? I think if I go far enough this way, we can probably find a better crossing. I mean, hell, the only reason I got stuck in that ditch is because of that rock right there. I don't know why that rock is there, aside from to kind of screw you. Okay, so let's shimmy down here. I mean, maybe you were meant to fall off, and you were supposed to jump up where that rock is, but it needs to be sunk just a little lower into the ground, and it would be climb upable. We got what looks like a path over here. Is that the right path, though? Because there is kind of two ways to go to get to the end of this map, and one of them is the right way, and one of them is not. And I think this might be the right way. This was not in Drack's review, because Drack never found the correct way to do it. He said he had to fly to get from one point to the end of the level. So I think that's over here. And the power lines actually seem to have disappeared. I thought that was a power line, but it's just the... Oh, no, there they are. That's just the weird flatness of the leave. Oh, I hear more footsteps. Seems like we do still have some dinosaurs. Hey, look! Another chaos effect boy. Didn't expect him to see them twice in a row. I mean, they do look very cartoony. I think, though, the flavor text that came with the original figures even said that their camouflage pattern is meant for disguising at night. Though they still kind of stuck out in the dark, or not dark jungle. It's confusing because there's Lost Jungle 3, which is dark, and at night, and then there's another map called Dark Jungle, which is also dark and at night. We don't have a weapon still, though. Alright, I think this is the end of the level, this area here. We have an elevator, and we've got a weyland-yutani facility tucked away in a hole back here. You know, I could probably... I could probably ride this down just from the raptor hitting the button. I was gonna say I could probably wedge something on that. It clearly works. I was actually hoping I could shove him off the back of the elevator. Oh, there we go. Alright. Well, as I said, that area is, I guess, meant more as a tease. Like, you go there first and you're like, oh, look, there's a weyland-yutani facility down there. But you can't get to it unless you brought a rock with you. Because pretty sure, like I said, if I brought a rock or something, I could wedge it onto the button and then ride the elevator down. I was actually expecting that elevator to just fall when I touched it, since there are not a lot of levels that have an actual working elevator that doesn't just kill you. In fact, I think JPDS is one of the only sets of levels that has an elevator that works and doesn't just fall off when you try to use it. Alright, so I think this will lead us to a side path, which we can use to get on the roof of the facility. But we're coming up against the end of the level, because I think there is nothing complete past the facility at all. This is where Kenobi had to throw in the towel and say, well, I guess I can't go any further with this level. I got more raptors over here, which we're just going to have to kind of avoid. They're okay at tag, but they're not great at Ring Around the Rosie. Okay, we got a cave over here. Very low ceiling. I don't know if we're going to be able to... I don't know if we're going to be able to walk through that, but I guess we fit. He is very doggedly following me, though. I actually thought we would have lost him by now. Okay, how to make a bit of a jump here while there's a raptor right behind me. Yeah. I want to know if he's going to walk over here and die. Right this way, raptor. I think it might be too tight of a squeeze. Oh, there it goes. Definitely not one of the cleverer girls. So, there's one more dinosaur that I did know is in this level, and as you can probably tell, it's big and it's mad, and it's shaking the whole building. Now, some of you who have seen some of my other LPs might end up recognizing this boy once we get down there. Assuming we can get down there. Okay. I don't think we're getting down that staircase. This looks like... Is it something? Is there... another door, maybe? No. I don't know, maybe we gotta go down that staircase. However, this vent shaft, I mean, yeah, it's a dead end here too. I'm gonna say this looks kind of suspicious, like maybe we should climb in here. No? I could also probably skate my way down the wall if we need to. But, well, I guess let's try to get down that pile of junk. If those are physics objects, we should be able to get through them and or get destroyed by them. Where I just touch them and they're all gonna, like, turn into a blender of pieces. Yeah, no, that's pretty tightly stacked. In fact, I don't think I can actually grab these. No, I can grab that. Wondering, what if I get on top of the vent? God, this ledge right here. Maybe there's a hole in the top? Oh, there is actually a hole in the top. Wow, I was actually supposed to use one of these crates. Possibly two of them. Oh, there we go. Because otherwise I was gonna use the fly command and head down there and see if there was a way through. You know, like a intended path through the pile of junk. Okay. Made it inside. Gotta jump over these floor blocks. Whoop. Wait, what is that? Is that a sentry gun? Oh my god, that is an abomination is what it is. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like 6 different guns stuck together in different orientations. There's an M60 in there. There's like a P90 magazine, or is that... I don't even recognize that. This is hilarious. So, I mean, I guess it's not like there was the sentry gun model for Trespasser. So someone's like, you know, you stick enough of guns together and it looks like what it's supposed to. It doesn't do anything, does it? I can't grab it. Okay, let me pull the door with me. Whatever's down there is really shaking the place up. Well, that's cute. It even has the targeting computer. So yeah, as you can see, there's the aliens stuff in this map. No actual aliens, just like there was no actual predator stuff. Though come to think of it, it would have been cool if somebody had like a a combi stick or something in the previous level. Future Tech, Ash Bishop Weyland. Our man of the future. Robotic weapons. Alright. Also this thing, which is a Triceratops skull stuck on top of like a T-Rex skull. Even weyland-yutani wanted hybrids. Alright, we might as well be polite and go say hello to the man of the house. This should say building better worlds, but I guess they went with the InGen style. I don't know how to get down there. I guess I just kind of walked past the door. I was in awe of whatever that was. Alright, here it is. Say hello to the Giganotosaurus, the gigantic Giganotosaurus from Dino Crisis 2. Remember that large boy? So, this is the first thing I ever heard about this map, was that this was a map that had the Giga in it. And we got kind of like that first fight against it in Dino Crisis 2 thing going on here. In the missile base, where you're on a catwalk right about mouth level. However, giant dinosaurs don't do so well in Trespasser in terms of actually being able to get their mouth to where you're standing. Can we release the Giga? No. The switch doesn't work. I love how much it shakes you, though. Like, it actually does bounce you around because it's so big. Presumably this would have opened the door. Because I think General Kenobi said he wanted the Giga to be kind of like a boss fight, but he didn't really get it to work that way. Alright, there's a door down there. So I'm trying to find a way down that doesn't involve shattered kneecaps. Only fractured kneecaps. Door here. But yeah, like, I could probably just stand here. You can see the bottom of his jaw doesn't even quite reach me. Which would be the bottom of his damage strip. He might be able to crush me, though, by accident. Definitely cool, though. I kind of wish we saw more Dino Crisis skins for Trespasser. Oh, wow, there actually is an ending trigger there. I thought we were just going to fall into a void or something at the end, but yeah. So that is InGen water treatment plant in the unfinished state that it had to be left in because of technical limitations. But I still think it could have been a very cool level if it had been able to be fully fleshed out the way it was intended. We definitely saw a lot of stuff in that, and it didn't crash, astoundingly. I guess loading that really did help, because I was told that this was pretty much going to crash. Well, not told directly, but it was stated by other people that this was likely going to crash. And it didn't, so I'm grateful for that. It's always a little bit of a pain in the ass, though not really too bad for Trespasser, where we can just save all the time and really don't lose any progress most of the time. As long as I remember to save. Sometimes I'm really bad about that, and I'll end up recording for like 40 minutes without saving. Anyhow, thank you all for joining me for this, I guess, kind of a walking sim level, a little bit of an exploration level, rather than a more combat-heavy level, but I do still have a few more levels up my sleeve, including the Trescom 20th anniversary, the Trespasser 20th anniversary level that was made by the Trescom folks. It was kind of a collaborative project. They're currently working on their 20th anniversary for Trescom itself level, which is also a collaborative effort. Don't know when that's going to be done, but there's another level I'm looking forward to that might be released by the end of the month. Another one from Trespasser Guy, which is looking pretty impressive. It's actually a level that he stopped working on some of his other levels, like Dark Jungle, which we haven't looked at yet, but we will be, if I can get it to work. It's got a crash in it right now. It's a level that he put that aside so he could focus on, and it's looking pretty impressive, and I guess he did a kind of demo of it on the Trescom Discord, and people were pretty impressed with it, so I'm hoping we see that soon and I can check it out while a month or so of Dino is still running. But, until the next time, you folks all take care.